and he came to Delhi during the Anna movement, and he got drawn in with Arvind. And he's the one who did, these were the kids who worked really hard. He is, from what I heard, he is the one who now gone to Punjab to do a sort of scanning of what will happen. So, and during the campaign, how was it all working out? What were the logistics? All of them used to sleep on the floor in a couple of houses in Delhi. This is always how the Aam Aadmi Party has operated. Even in Varanasi, where I was there for a long time covering the Modi's campaign and their campaign, it is very much the campaign of Zameen pe so, bistar mein so, kisi tarah kaam karo, kuch karo. It is built on that sort of notion. Now the Aam Aadmi Party is in power, and I think many people are very disappointed, if I'm not mistaken, especially if you belong to the more prosperous section of society. Let's be very clear about it. And because there are few things, their priorities are very clear. They will not allow slum demolition. I think he's put a freeze on it. And from one of the first things he did, I think one of the second things they did was to say that authorized colonies can be legalized. So there was a very clear thinking that this is our vote bank and we're not going to let them down. The power subsidy, the kind of beyond a certain, I mean, if you use anything beyond a light and a fan, you almost pay the same bills, am I right? I mean, I don't know if any, is there a relief or is there not a relief for most people here, if I may ask, huh? Relief is there, okay, fine. I went away so quickly, so I still haven't figured that one out, huh? But it's targeted also at the poorer section of society. So I think as far as Delhi is concerned, and please ask me questions about this, as far as Delhi is concerned, as someone who covers politics, the thinking is very clear. Even if the upper classes go away, in Delhi the block of the poorer section, the urban poor, will be so strongly with them. They won't go away because they're doing things which nobody else has done. So currently, this is definitely a party of the urban poor, number one. Now, if that comes into conflict with middle class or growth aspirations, then yes, it will disappoint people who are more prosperous. It is in the nature of the party. It is in the nature of the vote bank. And, so there are a few, I think these are the few things that are there about, now I don't know how much more time. Okay, so now I think, according to the time schedule given to me by General Oban, who very strictly told me rules must not be broken. Because I said, okay, my daughter is now 16-year-old. He said, no, 16-year-olds are not allowed. So I said, even if I'm talking, he said, no, rules are not to be broken. So sir, I salute to you and no more breaking of the rules. So please.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
How about the LG versus Chief Minister's controversy? You have not touched it.
Yeah, so you can ask me about it.
Yes, sir.
My name is Pramod Chawla. I'm with the Aam Aadmi Party since 2000.
Okay.
When we started Sampoorn Parivartan.
Right.
I would like to correct you on one thing, that even the well-off are enamored and taken up by the Aam Aadmi Party, as was seen on 7th of April at the CII conference in Taj Palace Hotel, where sitting in front of me was Mr. Rahul Bajaj and Mr. Azim Premji and Subodh Bhargav and several others. And this was a 1-hour interaction with Arvind Kejriwal.
Okay.
And they asked him, they applauded him. And it's not a question of they not being taken up by his forward thinking and political moves which he's making. So I wanted to correct you on that, please.
No, you don't have to correct me because I'm not making a statement. I was giving you the figures of the voting patterns and the studies that the Center for the Study of Developing Societies did. So let's be very clear, and I've interacted with Mr. Kejriwal also about this. They've got very bad press after Prashant and Yoginder left. Let's face it. So I'm just saying it's in the nature of the Aam Aadmi Party. Look, Arvind himself, he ran the most extraordinary fund collection campaigns. I went with him for one of them, talking to traders. He got the traders of Delhi to vote for him, which was a BJP vote bank after the BJP had such a huge win in the Lok Sabha. So I'm not contradicting what you're saying. I'm just saying that they will always, there is no question of the poorer sections of the city leaving them. That cannot happen no matter how much there is against them in the media, no matter what the LG does, no matter what appears. Because the logic of poorer voters across the country always operates on a different basis. I think they've managed to do that. I think that's an important political point to make. You know, they'll do that. Whereas in the more educated classes, there will be criticism, there will be doubts, there will be, you know, all these issues are there. So that's it. I agree with what you're saying. He can be very, he knows the language of business. He understands the business. He can talk to he was talking to the traders very effectively, and he was raising so much money because it was all falling on his shoulders to do so. So we are not in disagreement on this, but I'm just pointing out the data shows that, you know.
LG and the CM contribution.
LG and the CM. Okay.
Just a minute, sir.
Background is audits and accounts, he knows business well.
Pardon?
Background is audits and accounts.
Exactly. So he knows business very well, you know, very, very well. And he understands them and he knows how to talk to them. I mean, he's, you know, so there's no question of that. It's just that his belief, he has the point I'm making is something different. Is that he's almost, and you cannot penetrate the support that the poorer sections of society have given him. That is becoming like a voter block, and that's it's an urban. It is definitely a party of the urban poor. You know, everything else is a plus add-on now. That's
is there
about the
What is
LG?
What is the view of Mr. Kejriwal regarding the tribal shopping?
Tribal.
So one question at a time. LG and CM, if you could cover it. We'll go question by question. Yes, sir. 1 minute.
Okay.
1 minute. She's just going to cover the LG and CM, then we'll come back. We'll come back to you.
Look, there is no doubt that there is fundamentally a conflict inbuilt into the situation. And there is a lot of hypocrisy also, because all of them, Congress, BJP, everybody goes into the election saying we want full statehood for Delhi. Okay, and then you get into these grey areas. And in the case of the LG, and let me point out two LGs to you. I mean, the one LG and one governor. It's a real mystery when everybody else has been changed. How Mr. Najib Jung has not been changed by the centre. The LG of Delhi remains the same. And just as the Madhya Pradesh governor has not been changed, Sheila Dikshit and all, they've all gone. Mr. Narayanan, they've all been removed. So we can ask that, we can wonder about that. Personally, you know, you have this whole thing that Mr. Kejriwal is not doing this and not doing that. I've seen the media narrative and I have this to say. Regardless of whether some people X or Y like him or not, he has been elected by a lot of people and his hands are tied. And the LG, according to what I've seen, is definitely doing somebody else's job in provoking him. I think this LG is completely out of line and he is deliberately provoking Mr. Kejriwal on various things. So this is my opinion on the conduct of the current LG. I think he needs to sit back because who is the system? The system is determined by the people. He may not like it, some people may not like it. So, and you know, so right now the impression that some people in the Aam Aadmi Party have is that cases, you know, they have gone and got stuck on this anti-corruption bureau. I don't know if all of you are following it. Structurally, so there are lots of things which have, you know, they've settled down a bit, I was told. I quickly called up one of the key people today morning because I was coming here, because, you know, since I came back to India, then I was following the BJP event, so I said, kya ho raha hai? So where with the LG it's got stuck is on the anti-corruption bureau matter, I believe. I don't think, and here I think it goes beyond the LG, I don't think the national parties, and here Congress and BJP would want an anti-corruption police in the hands of Mr. Kejriwal. Let's not forget, he has issued FIRs against leaders of the Congress. What was his name? I mean, it's just escaping my name. when the Congress was, when he was in power, he issued an FIR against Mukesh Ambani, you know, and the very important Congress leader, the name will come to me. He issued FIR. So the system will not want to give him control over the police. You must understand that, because he will certainly issue FIRs against a lot of people. So, and I'm neither supporting this nor supporting that. I'm just explaining to you why things are what they are in Delhi. Please.
Yes, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Sir, I'll just come.
I'm a French journalist based in Delhi.
Can't hear you.
I'm a French journalist based in Delhi. And my question would be, back on what you just said, to what extent AAP has already changed the political agenda on anti-corruption, and what are the concrete chances, I mean, with the Anti-Corruption Bureau and the conflict with the center, what are the concrete chances for AAP to deliver on anti-corruption, and what exactly can we expect in the coming years? Will it modify the agenda and the attitude of BJP, of Congress, of whoever? And what can we expect from Mr. Kejriwal, even if he's not capable, according to you, to have a national reach, can he still deliver in terms of priorities and anti-corruption?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anti-corruption, you know, I was just saying earlier that his priorities, he said this in an interview to me also, that his priorities are also, anti-corruption is very important to him, but it's also social change, poverty, price rise. He has said all that. But what can he do on anti-corruption? You see the presence of AAP. Okay, I'll just give you a single example. When AAP came to power in 2013, then as his last passing, the day before he resigned, he issued an FIR against Mukesh Ambani on the case of natural gas, the pricing of gas from the KG basin. And it had already been set by the Rangarajan Commission of the UPA government. Okay, then he resigned. He thought that he will immediately get another election. It didn't happen. Then we have, just please put your mind to the timeline. Then you have the Lok Sabha election happening in a few days. He goes off to fight Mr. Modi in Varanasi, and all of this happens. But please recall that one of the first things that the BJP had to do is they had to revise the pricing of the natural gas on KG basin. So once you set agendas, once you say the unspeakable, you take names like Ambani, Adani, he's done that. They have to be, careful. They had to actually revise the prices which upset the house which was doing the exploration, saying that this is untenable. And this is just, I'm just sharing, one of the people who I met off the record, they were saying, we can't sustain it in this pricing. And today now, I am not a business person, I don't understand economic policy, but the BJP had to appear to be coming down on gas pricing. It had become an issue. So there are all these things, and this is nothing about the BJP. I mean, the whole corruption, it's across the board, because there is now an argument that is, the way the system is, all countries which have this kind of growth and where corporations are out to make money, you will have a lot of corruption across the world. So, if you're from France, then you followed what's happened in Greece, right? So, but I'm not going to take off on a discussion on capitalism right now. I'll just keep it to Aam Aadmi Party. But yes, and crony capitalism, as they call it, is very much part of their dharma, of their system. That the system is crony capital. Now, getting aside from political rhetoric, as a journalist, I know that fortunes are made in India, that business growth and political well-being has moved side by side. It's hardly a secret. That's the way it's been. That's the way the cookie crumbles. It's not supposed to be that way, but it's as if that is the way how it is. So, these are the things.
Can I request the questions to be short and sharp, please? Madam, you wanted to ask a question? Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to mention the very fact that the Aam Aadmi Party won 67 out of 70 seats in Delhi shows that all of us voted for.
Great.
Apart from the poor, the middle class, upper middle class,
yeah,
the more prosperous. Everybody almost voted out of a sense of idealism. But then everybody is feeling very let down, and I beg to disagree from you that even the poor people, because they have not been able to control prices, and that is hitting everyone, the middle class as well as the poor, the urban poor in Delhi, the people who work as domestic help. I'm in touch with those people, the people who work as taxi drivers, all kinds of people. So they are also disenchanted with Aam Aadmi Party and with Mr. Kejriwal. It's one thing to be an agitationist. As you rightly said, he started his career by with his PILs and all that. But it's a different thing to govern. And I'm sorry to say that he has not been able to do any such thing in the last few months that he has been there.
Okay.
And what do you think is going to be the future? You see, they may last a term because they've got 67 seats. There's no way that you can get rid of them for 5 years. But in what mess will they leave Delhi when they leave it?
No, I'm a bit confused because I'm not here to. That is precisely what I was saying. I don't agree with you that a section of the voter base of Delhi will not leave them in the foreseeable future. They will not, because rights and land and.
That's what you imagine right now.
I don't imagine anything. I cover things and I can only prospect.
You may be a journalist, you may be
Yeah, right.
but we are also people who move around.
No, I'm not doubting that. I'm not arguing with you. It's good to hear your point of view, but I'm just saying that it's, you may have thought that Lalu Prasad Yadav was chaotic. You may have thought all these people, but there is a pattern to politics of the subalterns. There is a vote bank they create which doesn't leave them for many, many years. So, and it operates on different principles.
That's why I want to know what is his view regarding tribals of India.
I don't think, I mean, look, I think more than Arvind, Prashant had a view on tribals. If you remember, Prashant was the leading PIL lawyer for activists who moved in tribal areas, but I have read an account by one of his close guys called Abhinandan Sikri, who described how Arvind would just go and say, now we're going to go and live. I remember an article where he wrote, Abhinandan is a journalist on a website that he would just go and, I mean, he lives hard, he can't sleep on a pavement, so he's probably traveled to tribal areas. I do not know much about tribal, because the issue is not being central to the politics that I've covered of his, you know. So that...
Mr. Narayan, there's plenty of time, we've got sufficient time to ask questions.
Satyendra Narayan, the AAP party does not...
We can't hear you, Satyendra.
The AAP party does not seem to be wanting to govern. They are only looking at the next municipal elections and using government money to campaign and canvass.
You know, also one thing, I don't think prices are in the domain of the Delhi thing. No? It's a national, government has to contain prices. You know, I mean, let's be very clear, price rise has to be the responsibility of the central government. We're not living in a, they haven't sort of created a state which is it's very much the pricing.
Food and civil supplies department is in the state government.
No, but the pricing of it's the general state of the economy. Of course it is.
State governments cannot absolve themselves of their responsibility.
Ma'am, we've got each our own point of view.
So,
we respect your point of view.
No, I respect your point of view. Like, I'm saying that I do believe that a section would have lost faith in the Aam Aadmi Party pretty quickly.
Next question, General Chadha, sir. So we'll come.
With all the facets of Kejriwal's personality which come out, one thing which stands out against him, he is too much of centralist, self-oriented man, developing only his own personality in the overall. The AAP party as such, there is no second string leadership come up. As per your own contention, Pandey, the one chap comes on the TV, Chadha, all brilliant people in a very, very young age group.
Yeah.
They've been all sidelined. Instead of bringing up all these good, excellent people, technocrats, in their own right, great academic record, they came as volunteers without any selfish aims. I think they've been all decimated. I think during the campaign, Yoginder Yadav, the way he handled all the TV debates, justifying all the agenda points, limited agenda points of corruption and 2, 3 more cheaper electricity and cheaper water. Beyond that, they had no national agenda. But all the same, I think Yadav, he created a tremendous image for the AAP party. He and Prashant Bhushan were both intentionally decimated after the elections are over, after a remarkable victory. both the people set aside till they got a civilian and the whole thing started their breakup. Any comments?
Sir, I have to, I've known Prashant and Yoginder much before I went to meet Arvind during the Anna movement. So there's no question. I regard them both so highly. Yoginder is one of the leading, so there's no question of me. But I would sort of, please buy a copy of the book. Every detail of what happened, including letters and speaking to both of them, all of them, what happened, why. The internal thing, it's all in the book. So you'll understand why it happened, I think Yoginder and Prashant would be an asset to anything. So I'm not disagreeing with you here. And yes, and I would also agree that, as I said so, it is a party built around a leader in that way. Aam Aadmi Party is not that different in that sphere from other parties. In India, you do need a charismatic face around which political parties are built. And in Arvind's case, certainly, it is very much him. He is the campaigner, he is a strategist, he is the one in charge.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
My question is perhaps a little stupid. I'm going back to history.
You'll have to hold the mic a little closer, sir.
When the India Against Corruption movement was at its peak,
Yeah.
the cause was the scams taking place in the Congress government.
Right.